Welcome, travelers, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
Hello, travelers. PA Nightmares here. I've noticed that over 30% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So, if you're a new or a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you like what I do, liking the video and commenting as well, as it really helps push this video into the algorithm and it really does help the channel grow. Well, I've taken enough of your time. On to the main event. Darkness settled over the town, whilst a white mist slowly crept its way along the streets. Clouds drift across the sky to unveil the large blood moon residing in the skies, causing every dog to howl loudly. As I stare out of my bedroom window, watching as the fog rolls in and blankets the house, the grandfather clock obnoxiously ticks with every moment that passes by. The agonizing slow passing of time further heightens my anxiety. The floor outside of my bedroom door creaks when someone passes back and forth in front of it. This has been happening every night for the last 2 weeks. The grandfather clock chimes when the hand strikes midnight, causing me to turn and face the door with a shotgun in hand. I inhaled deeply, raised the shotgun in my hand, and pointed it towards the door as I waited for the knocking to begin. It seemed like an eternity had passed by before the light raps at my bedroom door sounded. The 3 knocks, indicating that the thing I had been waiting for was now standing on the other side of that fragile wooden door. Knock. 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 The tapping on the door makes my hand begin to tremble. The more I try to put my index finger on the trigger, the more I begin to panic and question whether or not this is what I wanted to do. My parents and I had been staying in our rooms after 10 o'clock at night. It was the only way to protect ourselves from the monster that roamed the hallways at night. I knew deep down inside this was the right thing to do. Shit, it was the only thing to do at this point in time. It would solve everything. My parents would finally be able to start the process of grieving like they should have been doing this entire time. This was the only way to get my life back to the way it had been before all this tragedy struck. Knock. 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 More tapping at the door. God, what in the hell am I supposed to do? Do I blast a hole through my door in hopes of hitting the damn thing that has been terrorizing my family for the past 2 weeks? Or do I stay still, isolated in this room with the door locked? The gun falls back to my side when I hear the soft tone of voice from my brother. Can you open the door, Stan? I need to talk to you about something. Go away, I shout. Please, Stan. I don't have anyone else to talk to, he pleads. Get the hell away from my door. You're hurting my feelings, Stanley, he growls. The tone of my brother's voice is low, inhuman, and downright scary. My hands tremble worse than they had been not long ago. I raise the gun once more, point at the door, as the handle jiggles. This is the best thing to do. This is the right thing to do, I told myself as the door slowly creaks open. I quickly pulled the trigger when my brother stepped into my room. Brain matter and tissue covered the door upon the impact of the bullet. This would slow him down for a little bit. I had to come up with a long-term solution. You see, my brother committed suicide 2 weeks ago, and it doesn't matter how many times I blow his head off, because he just keeps coming back. I stand in my bedroom, my arm still cocked back, with a shotgun resting in my hand, and my finger on the trigger. My eyes focus on the brain matter that drops on the floor. The black-colored ooze, in place of where blood should be, slowly slides down the white wooden door. My feet crept closer towards the other side of the room. I grabbed the box of ammo, sitting on my bed, before making a dash for the door. I jumped over my brother's body, socks slipping on the hardwood floor of the hallway. As I run for the door, a few feet down from mine, I grab the door handle, twist it to the right, and push it open. My eyes widen at the exact moment that my jaw drops. The sight before me is ghastly. My mother is laying on the floor, her right arm outstretched, as if she had been trying to pull herself towards the door. A puddle of blood surrounded her head, and a human-sized bite mark lays just above her left eyebrow. Her shirt ripped to shreds like an animal had attacked her, which isn't possible. And again, the fact that my brother won't die isn't possible either. Our dog died 3 years ago, and we didn't have this problem. So what is different about my brother? Blood barely runs down the side of my mom's torso, and I hesitate as a sense of nausea washes over me. I cautiously kneel beside her. I didn't want to, but I have to see what that thing has done to her. As much as I hate to look, I lean over my mom to see that her torso is torn apart. Yet, the thing that has stood out most is that her organs aren't there. They're all gone. I felt sick to my stomach. The acid nestled deep within me, churning, just threatening to slide up the back of my throat and onto the corpse. I look away from her to see my dad's glossed over eyes staring at me. The brown irises, no longer that dark of a color, the milky film covering them unnerves me. I hesitantly crawl over to my dad, gun and ammo still in hand. Much like my mom, he had a bite mark on his forehead. His torso was also ripped open, but he wasn't crawling for the door like she had been. No, he lay on the floor, his head tilted to the right. My mind automatically begins to try and deduce what happened. Did he die before her? Or is there more than one thing like my brother roaming the house? The sounds of something scraping against the hardwood of the hallway floor caused me to jump to my feet. I quickly run into the adjoining bathroom and close the door as quietly as possible. I turn the lock on the door, which is louder than I was expecting. I hold my breath when I hear the horrible groans that I've heard since the first night he came back. The door handle to the bathroom jiggles like it had in my bedroom. I raise the shotgun once more. This fucker is starting to regenerate faster than before. I cock the gun, making sure the creature knows that I am still armed. However, the door handle doesn't stop moving.
You weren't being very nice, Stan. All I want to do is talk,
my brother says. Go away, Mike, I sternly say.
Please, Stanley.
No.
What are you afraid of?
He inquires. Fuck off, I raise my voice.
Mom and Dad were willing to talk.
Look how that turned out for them.
All I want to do is talk to you about something really important,
Mike reiterates. You can beg all you want. I am not opening that goddamn door for you, I retort.
Ugh,
he sighs.
You've always been the stubborn one.
Leave me alone.
I was really hoping that you'd just open the door like Mom and Dad did.
He sighs. The wood in front of me violently shakes upon the impact of something hitting it. The wood makes a slight breaking noise before it struck again. The process is repeated over and over until the middle section of the door is gone. My brother reaches his arm in and unlocks the door. I take a step back when the door swings open. Mike stands in the doorway, axe in hand, and a twisted smile on his face. My fingers slid against the trigger when I raised the gun higher, perfectly aligning it with his head before pulling the trigger. Once again, I watch as brain matter and what should be blood splatter against the nearest wall. I set the box of ammo on the sink beside me, grabbed 2 shells, tossed the used rounds behind me, and I loaded the gun. I cocked it back, aimed for the body, and pulled the trigger. His upper back partially explodes with the rounds hitting it. Pieces of his dead flesh fly in different directions. The box of ammo is in my hand for a second time tonight. I was ready to leave the room when a thought occurred to me. What will happen if I run out of ammo? I made the fastest decision I've made since shooting my brother. I tucked the ammo box underneath my right arm and cautiously stepped towards the body. I bend down and snatched a handle of the axe Mike had been carrying. I waste no time in jumping over the body and running out of those rooms. Something lunges at me when I slide into the hallway. I'm lucky enough to dodge it, but my eyes widen when I look up and see what it was. Standing in the hall were a few neighbors. Holy shit, there's more of them. I have exactly one bullet in my gun, and although I have the axe, I'd rather not get close to them unless I absolutely have to. I can count 4 other creatures, so 5 in total, if you count my brother. Let me reiterate, I don't know how fast these things regenerate, but I do know that I don't have much time until Mike comes back looking for me again. I inhale deeply, just watching as they continue to walk towards me. I lift the gun in the air for what feels like the millionth time tonight, and pull the trigger. The one that lunged at me falls to the floor, upon pieces of their midsection flying in different directions. My chest rises and falls when I see the others closing the distance between us. A loud groan sounds in my parents' bedroom. The axe is heavy, and there isn't any way that I'll be able to lift it while holding onto the shotgun, but I will be damned if I don't at least try. I inhale deeply, shakily breathe as I lean forward and lift my foot, just preparing to make the journey through the creatures that crowd my hallway. The sound of what seems like my mom's voice startles me. I start running, my feet loudly thumping against the hardwood floor. I raise the axe in my hand and thrust the metal blade at one of the things that reaches for me. The body hits the wall, slumping to the floor, that odd-colored goo leaking from the wound. What the fuck is happening? 2 more slowly walking towards me, seemingly cautious as to not get too close. I suddenly feel an unknown emotion wash over me as my legs carry me further down the hallway. I slam the butt of my gun into one of the 2 creatures' faces before raising the axe, bringing it down on their head. The sound of flesh ripping apart fills the air, and I watch in horror as their head splits in half. The same ooze squirts into the air, causing me to dodge it, and go after the 4th and final creature standing in my way of hopeful escape. I raise my left leg, kick the damn thing in the stomach, and joust the axe into the chest. I quickly pull the weapon back to me and run like hell down the remainder of the hallway. I reach the staircase just as something sounds behind me.
Oh, Stanley.
My brother's singing voice sings. I jump the stairs 2 at a time, clearing them in a matter of seconds, before rounding the corner to the basement door. It seems stupid to run down to the basement, stupid to isolate myself in the lowest part of the house. Mike may know where to find me in about 3 minutes, given how fast his entire body regenerates this time, but there's a part of the basement that he doesn't know about. My parents don't even know about it. There are a series of secret passageways that lead underground. They connect through the town, and I found them a few years ago. I didn't bother to tell anyone in case I needed to use them for a situation exactly like this one. I am absolutely scared shitless despite putting on a brave face and shooting my brother in the head many times, despite slicing and kicking my way through the others. I don't know how in the hell my brother is back, and I don't know what he wants, but I have a feeling that he is not going to stop until he gets what he wants. And I think he wants me. I would like to thank tonight's author or authors for allowing me to use their works. If you enjoyed this, the author's links will be in the description below. Please check them out and let them know PA sent you. Also, if you like to walk around representing my realm and gaining new travelers, the links to my merch store, my website, and all of my other social medias will be in the description below. As always, I'd like to say a special thank you to all my lovely Patreons. All of their names will appear on screen. I'll make sure to put all their links in the description below so you guys can check them out as well if you'd like.
But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.